The shadow of the final judgment rested heavily upon the earth, but upon the heart of Enoch, the son of Jared, there rested only the peace of a man who walked with God. He was not a warrior nor a king, but a scribe of righteousness, one whose soul yearned for the wisdom of the Creator. It was in the silence of his 77th year that the call came, not a voice of thunder, but a vibration in the air, a light that split the darkness of his humble dwelling. Enoch, the voice which was the archangel Michael, spoke, his form radiating the fire of creation. The Most High desires to show you the mystery of the realms, the order of his design, and the justice of his plan. Prepare your heart, for you shall ascend beyond the firmament. And so his journey began. Hand in hand with his celestial guide, Enoch felt the bonds of earth dissolve. The ground beneath him vanished, replaced by a current of pure, swirling light. They ascended swiftly, leaving the troubled world far below, a small, troubled marble of blue and brown. The ascent was dizzying, a blinding rush toward the unseen boundaries of creation. The first heaven, the great ocean, and the celestial watchers. The swirling chaos ceased as abruptly as it began, and Enoch found himself standing upon the threshold of the first heaven. The immediate vision was overwhelming, a boundless, glittering expanse of water. This was not the restless, salt-bitten ocean of earth, but a vast ocean of divine brilliance, a sea situated directly above the firmament, separating the waters above from the waters below, as described in the ancient Genesis. Its surface shimmered with every imaginable hue, gold, sapphire, and emerald, reflecting the unfathomable glory of the one who had established its boundaries. It was majestic, a humbling testament to the Creator's power that governed all things. Behold the boundaries of the firmament, Michael explained, his voice melodic yet authoritative. This realm maintains the balance between the mortal and the eternal. Within this ethereal realm, Enoch saw majestic figures moving with an aura of solemn wisdom. These were the elders, the first line of celestial governance, their robes shining like woven moonlight. They oversaw the precise order of the stars and the celestial bodies, their every movement a symphony of divine decree. Alongside them were 200 angels, each appointed to govern the intricate dance of the cosmos. Enoch watched in awe as they guided the spheres, ensuring that every planetary revolution, every solar eclipse, every seasonal shift adhered to the Lord's perfect timekeeping. Their faces were serious, their devotion absolute, their duty to execute the divine will without error. The first heaven was a glimpse into the harmony that underpins all creation, a reassurance that even the furthest star moved under the watchful eye of God. But the journey had only just begun. Michael pressed onward. The second heaven, the prison of anguish. The transition to the second heaven was jarring. The radiant light and harmonious order of the first realm vanished, replaced by an unsettling, profound darkness. It was a cold, oppressive void, heavier and deeper than any night Enoch had known on earth. This was not the darkness of absence, but the darkness of despair. A ceaseless sound of sorrow, a chorus of heavy, echoing cries, permeated the expanse. Enoch's heart was moved to sorrow as he beheld the inhabitants, fallen angels, once glorious and mighty, now imprisoned and tormented. Their forms were immense, shadowed and broken, etched with the heavy burden of their regret. They were bound by chains of spiritual desolation, awaiting the final terrible day of divine judgment. Enoch, trembling, turned to Michael. "Why, my lord, are these magnificent beings condemned to such anguish?" Michael's expression was solemn. "These are the ones who turned away from the Lord. They were the watchers, set to guard humanity, but they disobeyed his commandments, followed their own will, and corrupted the earth. They descended, took human wives, and fathered the monstrous Nephilim." The sight was a grim warning. The second heaven stood as a testament to the unshakable righteousness of God and the terrifying consequences of defying His will. It was a place of accountability where the mightiest of the created beings faced the justice of the Creator for their rebellion. The sorrowful echoes of their cries underscored the high cost of forsaking the divine path. The third heaven, paradise and the unquenchable flame. Then came the ascent to the third heaven, and the contrast was blinding, a glorious immediate relief from the profound despair they had just witnessed. This realm was known simply as paradise. Enoch gasped, falling to his knees before a landscape overflowing with life, color, and peace. It was a garden of indescribable beauty, filled with the radiance of God's blessings. Towering trees blossomed with flowers of every hue, emitting fragrances that were intoxicatingly sweet and pure. Their fruits, ripe and abundant, glistened with a heavenly light. Glistening streams flowed gently, not of water, but of honey, milk, oil, and wine, pooling into vast rivers that created an atmosphere of divine abundance. At the very heart of this paradise stood the tree of life, a magnificent symbol of God's eternal goodness. Its colossal branches shimmered with hues of crimson and gold, its roots stretching far into the heavenly soil. The tree emanated a sense of holiness and boundless beauty, a testament to the Creator's majesty. This heavenly paradise, Michael said gently, is prepared for the righteous, for those who lived their lives in accordance with God's will, who showed compassion to the poor, fed the hungry, and walked in humility and justice. This is their eternal reward, a place of rest and joy beyond human imagination. Yet the vision was not entirely serene. Michael led Enoch to the northern region of paradise, and the sweet light faded into a chilling crimson glow. This was the place of torment, reserved for the wicked. Dark and terrifying, it was marked by rivers of fire and unquenchable flames. Here, those who practiced grave sins, idolatry, and rebellion against God's righteousness faced eternal punishment. This fiery region mirrored the biblical depictions of hell, a sobering reminder of the serious consequences of turning away from God's truth. The fourth heaven, the celestial machine. Ascending again, they entered the fourth heaven, a realm dedicated to the glorious celestial mechanics that govern the cosmos. This heaven was alive with a sense of divine kinetic order. Here, the sun, moon, and stars moved with perfect clockwork precision, all under the meticulous guidance of countless angelic beings. Enoch marveled at the immense radiant light of the sun, which was a startling 7 times greater than the silvery glow of the moon. Each celestial body followed its ordained, flawless path, marking the passage of time with unwavering consistency. Enoch observed vast legions of angels attending to the solar and lunar bodies, ensuring their movements were harmonious and exact. They diligently steered the chariot of the sun across the heavens every day. Michael pointed out the careful orchestration. 4 great stars accompany the sun, each commanding 1,000 stars beneath them at night. This is the Creator's flawless design, the harmonious symphony of the universe. Every rotation, every phase, every orbit is a testament to the wisdom and power that sustains all things. The fourth heaven revealed not just the beauty of the celestial lights, but the extraordinary complexity behind them. It was a glimpse into the majesty of the Creator's plan, where cosmic order underscored the perfection of His will. The fifth heaven, the desolation of the Gregori. The fifth heaven was a return to somberness, a haunting realm overshadowed by the crushing weight of regret. Here, Enoch once again encountered the Gregori, also known as the Watchers, angels who had forsaken their duties. Unlike the imprisoned, tormented Watchers in the second heaven, these beings stood in profound, desolate silence. Their enormous forms were still and utterly lifeless, their faces withered and etched with unending sorrow and self-condemnation. Once radiant and glorious, they now bore the indelible marks of their catastrophic fall from grace. They were weighed down by the destruction they had unleashed on earth. Michael explained that the Gregori were condemned to this state of perpetual grief and anticipation. Their punishment, a period of living stillness. They had been granted immense power and responsibility, but their disobedience brought chaos and suffering. Their failure to uphold God's will rendered them unworthy of their former glory, stripped of their purpose and standing. The greatest consequence of rebellion, Michael intoned, is not merely the pain of the punishment, but the absolute loss of purpose. They were created to watch and guide, but instead they corrupted and destroyed. This realm is a lesson in the devastating spiritual cost of straying from the Lord's path. The sixth heaven, the realm of unparalleled worship. Ascending from the quiet desolation, they entered the sixth heaven, a realm of unparalleled light, harmony, and active divine order. The radiance here was pure and magnificent, the glory of God reflected in every corner. Enoch beheld 7 distinct bands of angels, each dedicated to studying and maintaining the intricate workings of the universe. They were the keepers of knowledge, meticulously observing the movements of the stars, the revolutions of the cosmos, and the precise phases of the moon, ensuring all functioned according to God's unwavering design. But they were not merely scientists. They were worshippers of unparalleled devotion. Their songs of praise echoed throughout the sixth heaven, melodies so pure and beautiful that Enoch found them utterly beyond earthly description. The perfect harmonies of their voices intertwined with the light of the realm, creating an atmosphere of reverence and joy that words could not capture. Among these hosts were the mighty archangels, beings of great authority tasked with overseeing the lower angels and the entire natural order of creation. They acted as stewards of the divine will, maintaining the essential balance of the heavens and the earth. The sixth heaven was a vision of divine precision and perfect worship, demonstrating the unity and harmony that unfold when creation fulfills its purpose in perfect alignment with the Creator's plan. The seventh heaven, the splendor of the throne. The journey reached its climax in the seventh heaven, the most terrifying and awe-inspiring realm Enoch had encountered, the direct dwelling place of the fiery armies of angels. The light here was not just radiant, it was boundless, a host so magnificent and powerful that their presence was almost overwhelming, filled the expanse. Among them were the cherubim, the seraphim, and the many-eyed thrones, each radiating an intensity of light and power that reflected their absolute nearness to the Creator. Their brilliance filled the expanse, and their ceaseless songs of worship echoed like thunder, vibrating with a reverence that was both majestic and humbling. These celestial beings encircled the very center of the universe, the throne of God. The throne blazed with a glory that was indescribable, a splendor that defied all comprehension. Enoch was struck by the immensity of the scene, the light emanating from the throne so pure and overwhelming that he immediately fell to his face in fear, trembling before the holiness of the Almighty. In that moment of profound awe and terror, God, in his infinite mercy, commanded the archangel Michael to approach Enoch. Michael, with divine kindness, lifted Enoch up, helping him to stand. The Lord commands your transformation, Enoch, that you may bear witness to his majesty, Michael declared. By God's direct order, Michael clothed Enoch in garments of glory and anointed him with radiant heavenly oil. The transformation was profound. Enoch, now adorned in celestial attire, became like the angels, his earthly form replaced with a radiant heavenly likeness, capable of standing in the blinding presence. The seventh heaven was both humbling and transformative, the ultimate culmination of his journey, bringing him into the immediate, unmediated presence of the Creator and preparing him for his eternal purpose as a witness. The eighth heaven, the unveiled tapestry of existence. Having been transformed, Enoch was led into the eighth heaven, a realm unlike any other, a place overflowing with knowledge and divine mysteries. Here, the hidden truths of creation were unveiled. This was the plane where the flow of time and the eternal purposes of God were laid bare. It was as if the very fabric of existence was spread out before him, each thread revealing the perfect interlocking wisdom of the one who holds the universe together. Enoch realized how utterly limited human understanding truly was. What appeared to mortals as fragments, moments of joy, seasons of pain, or years of uncertainty were to God part of a complete and perfect tapestry. He saw the beginning, the middle, and the end all at once, weaving every detail of history into a grand, seamless design. Nothing was random, nothing was wasted. The wisdom of the eighth heaven was a profound message. Trust the author of the story. He sees what you cannot see, and he understands what you cannot yet grasp. His design is flawless, and in his time, every mystery will reveal his glory. The ninth heaven, the archives of the soul. From the vast conceptual realm of the eighth heaven, they moved to the meticulous order of the ninth heaven, the heavenly archives. This was a vast library of books and records that held the story of every human life that ever was or would be. Within these heavenly repositories, nothing was overlooked or forgotten. Every thought, every spoken word, every action, whether done in secret or in public, was carefully and meticulously written down. The reality of divine justice became undeniable here. Nothing, no deed of kindness or act of disobedience, escaped the gaze of God. This vision served as a solemn reminder that mortal lives are deeply significant. Every decision carries weight, and every choice echoes into eternity. The records did not measure only the great visible deeds of kings and prophets. They treasured the small, quiet acts of love, the hidden steps of faith, and the kindness shown to the least of men. But at the same time, they recorded every instance of rebellion and sin. For Enoch, this truth stirred both humility and hope. It humbled him to know that his life was fully open before God, yet it encouraged him to know that while judgment is real, God's mercy, promised through the coming Christ, was greater still. The 10th heaven, the throne of ultimate judgment. Finally, Enoch was led into the 10th heaven, the highest of all realms and the place of ultimate judgment. Here he beheld the magnificent throne of God, shining with an indescribable majesty, radiating absolute final authority. The throne was surrounded by the gathered hosts of creation, standing in silent reverence, waiting for the final verdict of the one who rules over time and eternity. In this sacred space, all uncertainty ceased. Every soul would be measured by the perfect, unwavering standard of divine justice. The scene filled Enoch with an ultimate awe, for it revealed the destiny toward which all history was moving. The struggles of the world, the rise and fall of kingdoms, the hidden choices of every heart, all were moving toward this great climax. On that day, the righteous, those who walked in faith and obedience, would inherit eternal joy in the presence of God. But the wicked who rejected his ways would face separation from his light and the sorrow of eternal loss. The 10th heaven stood as the culmination of Enoch's journey, pressing upon him an unforgettable truth. Eternity is real. Our choices matter, and God's promises are unshakable. The return of the witness. The visions faded. Enoch found himself gently placed back upon the earth, the light of the archangel Michael receding, leaving only the mundane dust of his garden. He was no longer merely Enoch, the son of Jared. He was Enoch, the witness. Though he was returned to his earthly body, the robes of glory and the anointing oil remained upon his soul. The journey through the 10 heavens had fundamentally transformed him. The magnificent truth of the realms became his final testament. He was no longer looking up at a single distant paradise, but at a multi-layered reality where justice and mercy were perfectly balanced. He knew the cost of rebellion and the unimaginable reward of faithfulness. From that day forward, Enoch walked with an eternal perspective. He bore witness to the sovereignty of God, urging humanity to see beyond the temporary struggles of life, to fix their eyes on the glory that was to come. He told them of the limitless, beautiful ocean of the first heaven, the echoing despair of the second, the fragrant paradise and the fiery torment of the third. He spoke of the perfect celestial machine of the fourth, the desolation of the fallen watchers in the fifth, and the glorious singing order of the sixth. Above all, he spoke of the blinding, life-changing splendor of the seventh heaven, where he was made new and the final, ultimate truth revealed in the 10th. His message was a clarion call. Heaven is real. Judgment is real. God's promises are true. His chronicle became a scripture to be passed down, inspiring generations to live faithfully with Christ in their hearts and their eyes fixed on the glorious home prepared for the redeemed.